We're live, guys. Welcome in here to Rover Sports. This is, again, our new technology that we have here today. And welcome into our show.
Welcome in. It's a great weekend. It's all sports weekend. I see you're wearing your Tennessee shirt.
Yep, UT.
Is that in the honor of John Gruden coming to Tennessee?
It is, in fact, in the honor of Mr. John Gruden. The groomers are alive and well. We checked the Knoxville airport, and apparently there was a flight coming in from Tampa Bay that was coming in there yesterday. The groomers are swirling around. Sons of teachers that are administrators at the school that know John Curry, that know Chancellor Davenport, a lot of different groomers going on. But listen, I really don't know if John Gruden's going to take this job or not. I think for John Gruden, though, if Monday Night Football kind of, fizzling out at ESPN, if he really wants to be a legendary coach, then he should really look at taking this job at Tennessee.
Are we on YouTube or what platform?
We are on YouTube right now. We are on YouTube.
I can see a lot of people are rolling in.
Tons of
thank
people.
Everybody.
Crazy people. We might even go on Periscope, take this party to Periscope. This new technology happens to be fantastic. And I can't wait to take this to tailgates. I almost feel like going to Dallas now for the Eagles game because this thing is absolutely incredible.
This is high resolution.
This is as high as it gets, man.
We can't look at it.
We're as high as it gets.
Absolutely. So let's break it down. Eagles, Cowboys. What are your thoughts?
Do it. I mean, well, first off, I kind of want Dallas to win because y'all have been getting so much positive buzz, and being a supporter of the team up north, it's been a tough season for me. But I have to admit the Eagles are a really good football team. As I see some guys are logging in and watching the podcast. Love the orange, baby. My guy, Volunteer Roadshow. He is a legend in the YouTube community. He rolls all around the United States, and he actually has a show, Bruce. He's friends with actually Derek Raycroft and Uncle Lou. Uncle Lou would kill me if he saw this outfit, if he saw that I just went to Tennessee.
He would call you a Tennessee Voltard.
Oh, Norman Vasquez, what's going on, Norm? Thanks for joining the podcast, man. That's a Niners fan. He's a huge fan of C.J. Beathard, and, we live back here on the East Coast, and a lot of people, Norman, they don't know how special Niners Nation is. And the C.J. Beathard videos, the way you guys react to that was just unbelievable. So, Niner Nation's been really nice to me, and can you thank Niner Nation?
I want to thank Niner Nation. I want to say, great win. Here's the good news. If they played the Giants every week, they'd be undefeated.
They played Ben McAdoo. But yes, Volunteer Roadshow, you guys should watch his show. He records from his truck. He rolls around the country. It's pretty incredible. We're getting a lot of fans coming in here right now. Any comments you guys want to talk about this weekend, Bruce? But listen, Cowboys-Eagles, that's going to be a primetime game. The Cowboys got slaughtered by the Atlanta Falcons. So, what do you think's going to end up happening with the? I think
anytime you have an NFC division rivalry like this, obviously this is the Cowboys season. If the Eagles win this game, they'll be undefeated in the NFC East. I believe the Cowboys, albeit not having Zeke, their defense is going to play great. And
steady there.
What are you saying?
No, I'm just saying.
You're talking about the camera. You've got Victor. Victor's got a little bit of an unsteady hand. We want to thank Victor. I think he's afflicted with, was it Parkinsonism?
Oh, man. You're going to go there.
Is that tasteless?
That was almost as worse as your comment on who?
I don't know.
The director.
Oh, yes. You mean our show? You mean our new movie with Norman Weinstein directing, starring Kevin Spacey, and, of course, Louis C.K. It's going to be called Non-PC Bros.
Non-PC Bros. We already just dropped a viewer. All right. But listen,
one viewer dropped off already.
One viewer's a PC Bro.
You know who that viewer was?
PC Bro.
It was Al Franken. It was Al Franken.
All right.
It was Louis C.K. He had to excuse himself.
What do you think?
He had to get in. You know what Louis had to do? Louis had to get in touch with somebody he loves. And that would be him, of course.
His own noggin.
Absolutely.
So you got the Eagles winning this game, Bruce?
I think it's going to be a close game. Eagles by 3.
By 3. So do you still think the Cowboys are legit? Because even though they crapped the bed to the Falcons, I think the Falcons can still make the playoffs this year. I think Atlanta's still pretty
Atlanta's
good.
a great home team, not a great
home team. Can Matt Ryan suffice? Can Matt Ryan get it going? I mean, that is really going to be the question there. What is going on? I'm Michelle. Heard of you from Sports Fury. Yes, Michelle. Thank you so much.
Welcome to Rover Sports.
Those guys are absolutely incredible. Are Sports Fury fans, and Michelle, thank you. That means a whole lot coming from you. And you know, I was on the Sports Fury Pick'em with those guys, Josh and Sean, and they're just as wild as me. So
that's pretty wild.
Not really that wild, but to have that, I really appreciate them having me on that show. That was so much fun picking out the games, and mostly positive comments, you know, from those guys. One guy called me One guy called me a D-bag because I was dressed in a collared shirt. And, yeah, I kind of looked pretentious. But Falcons Fury, man, what's going on? I got to have you on my show. Falcons Fury was the first person to ever join the Sports Fury. It's a TV. No, I got it. Here's show Waldo. Here we go.
Turn it off, please.
Waldo! Talk.
Raise the Cats.
Talk, Waldo. I think
we're raising the Cats. I think the
Falcons are going to win.
I think they beat the Lakers the other night. And Lonzo Ball was terrible. Turn that off, please. We have something called white noise on a color photograph.
Falcons Fury. You're a Vols fan. Oh, he's a Gator fan. Oh my God.
Are you really a Vols fan?
Me? I mean, I just wear all the SEC gear. I wear all the SEC gear. I'm from up north, but I think the SEC is the best conference, so I love how passionate football fans are. Falcons Fury is awesome. Watch his videos. I think Falcons Fury also likes the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that's his AFC team. So
that's Central Florida.
We have UCF Jaguar. Dalton, UCF Jag. So Bruce, you know a lot of these characters, don't you? Which NFL teams do you guys support? I'm not sure, as you make vids covering many teams. That's the purpose, Norman, of Rover Sports.
That's of course.
Is, you know, we do cover many teams. We're not going to say we're bandwagoners of all these teams, but yeah. I need a cameraman, or better yet, a hot chick to ride around with me. Volunteer roadshow. That would be living.
Can we arrange that? We could arrange that easily.
Possibly, if you have the money, you can pay off a girl.
If you have the money, or maybe just the fame.
Listen, so about the question about Rover Sports, the sole purpose of the channel is so that you guys feel like we are supporting your team. We come at it from a fan's perspective, but we also try to make informative decisions on your team. So a lot of times, like the Jacksonville Jaguars, Atlanta Falcons, Niners, you guys, especially the Niners, you know, since they have a new team, a new head coach, if their team's not in the playoff mix, they won't get any intensive coverage on ESPN. And that's kind of the purpose here on Rover Sports, is to really give intensified coverage to each team in the NFL.
Try to find some very
instead of just the main
college basketball's coming up. We'll be covering the Northern Iowa Panthers. Will be one of our exclusive reads.
Sure.
Creighton Blue Jays, and of course Wichita State.
Yeah, of course. But Norman, I have to admit though, I really am a fan of the Niners, okay? If I'm going to be talking here clearly. I didn't grow up a Niners fan. I'm from, you know, North Jersey, and my grandfather was... I was named after one of the biggest Giants fans on earth. So I've watched the Giants for a long time, supported them. You guys beat me with Jeff Garcia in that game. Remember, they came back from 40 points in the fake punt and T.O. dancing with cheerleaders. So that was pretty rough. But Kyle Shanahan, I really like Kyle Shanahan as a head coach for the Niners. So I really support him. And we met John Lynch at the Combine too. Those guys are rock stars. So... Falcons Fury's a Gator fan, absolutely. Canyon Barry was on the team last year.
Briefly, Canyon Barry was Sixth Man of the Year.
Sixth Man of the Year. He misses Kyle a lot too, Kyle Shanahan, no doubt.
Of course.
No wonder. So what do you guys think the Niners are going to do this year? Cornerback? I would get a cornerback. I'm glad that Robinson is gone from the Niners. I look at wide receiver too. I mean, there aren't a ton of unbelievable wide receivers that we've heard about this year. It wasn't like last year. Last year we had some amazing wide receivers. What do you think about the Celtics beating the Golden State Warriors, Bruce?
Well, I give them mad props. This is Philly town. Really excited about Embiid and Simmons. But looking at the Celtics, Kyrie Irving is playing out of his mind. And it's amazing that the Celtics are having this huge winning streak without Gordon Hayward. I think it's a testament to great coaching on the Celtics.
I think so too. I really like what Brad Stevens is doing there and Kyrie. I thought that trade was a straight robbery. I said it at the time. And even though Boston fans really like Isaiah Thomas, he's nowhere near the caliber.
We know Isaiah Thomas has a bad hip. It's called a acetabulo-femoral impingement. And as a sports doctor, I can tell you it's nothing you want to have. So I'm not sure.
Lost a viewer because
I just lost a viewer.
Way too complex.
Oh, this is too complicated.
What do you think of the Panthers and the Falcons making the playoffs? So that's an interesting...
I'm only picking one of them.
Interesting discussion. Okay, so let's do the NFC wild card real quick. Okay, so we got the Eagles, we got the LA Rams, then you're then maybe New Orleans, and then the Vikings. So then we have the Packers, Seattle Seahawks. I think the Seahawks can. Do you think they'll still make it with Richard Sherman or no?
I think the Seahawks will make it. I think that without Aaron Rodgers, the Pack's going to continue to fade.
So they're going to be Carolina and Dallas.
Carolina and Dallas.
I think Seattle could miss the playoffs.
By the way, Dallas is a very difficult schedule coming down the stretch.
I think that Dallas will miss. I think Carolina's in. I think Carolina's going to make the playoffs.
How about Atlanta? Are they pulling a wild card?
Atlanta or Seattle? I might go Atlanta.
I'm going Seattle.
So I'm going to go the NFC South with 3 teams. Guess what? If Atlanta's in the playoffs, I'm not just saying this because you're on our stream, Falcons Fury. Atlanta's a really dangerous playoff team. Now, they'll have to head on the road, but their pass rush will need to be elite. And the one thing I worry about the Atlanta Falcons is they can't run the football either. And that's not a recipe for success. The reason why New Orleans is so...
Freeman, is he still injured or is he back?
I think he might be back.
Maybe we'll get a comment.
Do you think my dad, you really think he's like Poppy from the Levitard show? You know, the guy who can't barely speak any English?
Oh,
he
yeah.
Just called you Poppy.
I can Amadeus meal.
He just called you Poppy.
Poppy.
Yeah,
just
Poppy,
don't call me Maturo Poppy.
The Spanish guy.
Maturo Poppy's grandfather.
From Dan Levitard. Hey, I'd appreciate that. If we can have anywhere near the success of that show, hell yeah, Vol Road Show. Where are you right now, man? Are you headed to LSU? The spread for that game, 16. I think LSU's going to roll Tennessee, unfortunately, tomorrow. Tevin Coleman, I think, is going to be a beast in fantasy, though. He's kind of like the power back. So,
right.
You know, today I did a Mitchell Trubisky video.
You did a film review?
I did a film review.
So what can you tell us about Mitch?
The thing about Mitchell Trubisky is that, you know, I'm not sold on the kid's arm strength yet. He doesn't scare defenses. He hasn't been, you know, pushing it down the field, and he's had a very conservative game plan. And I'm just a little bit worried if Mitchell Trubisky will pan out to really be an elite level quarterback. What do you think about Trubisky?
Well, number one, in 2 weeks he's coming here to Philadelphia to Lincoln Financial Field.
That could be
so that could be fun because I know the Bears are kind of a fun team to watch.
I think they're decently fun. They cut my boy Tanner Gentry.
They'll bring him back.
Oh man, he has to go to Memphis tomorrow night. He's going to be tailgating Vol Road shows in Charlotte right now. Good restaurant too in Charlotte. Fahrenheit is
Fahrenheit
457 maybe.
457. Fahrenheit's a great restaurant. Who did we meet there?
We met Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker was there. So if you're in Charlotte, go to Fahrenheit. It's really cool. It's a great restaurant.
We have questions on DeShone Kizer. We also have questions about the LA Rams. So LA Rams, I think they're legit.
Are they pretenders or legit?
I think they're legit. I mean, I think that they're pretty dang unbelievable. Thank you. I appreciate that. Do I have a podcast? I mean, I do one with Jet Central. So if you tune into this channel on Monday and Tuesday, but I really like how
Well, actually...
Well, that's like a one-day thing. I'm mostly on here on YouTube. I'm on Periscope, Rover Sports, and I think we should do this every Friday night or whenever you guys would enjoy it, because you guys are great asking these questions. To go back to the Rams, though, it's nice to have all these questions sometimes. You know, you have to fill in space.
Of course.
Sometimes you have to fill in space. I think the Rams are very legit. I think Jared Goff is an okay quarterback, but he's made better by his weapons. He's made better by the system.
Sean McVay,
Todd
really
Gurley, Andrew Whitworth. It's amazing. This Rams team looked awful with Jeff Fisher. That's for all the fans that are saying the Giants are screwed and to quit on Eli Manning. Just look at the resurrection of the LA Rams. It can happen in 1 year if you have the right coach in there. Jeff Fisher was a cancer. Sean McVay solves cancer.
We have a question here from Lisa from Reading. The question is, who will be replacing Bob McAdoo?
Well, Bob McAdoo played on the
He played on Buffalo Bills.
Played on the Braves.
So actually,
no,
Buffalo
he played
Braves.
on the Braves. So
Buffalo Braves.
So Blake
so it's
Griffin.
not Bob
probably.
McAdoo, by the way.
Blake Griffin maybe can replace him. I don't know.
But McAdoo.
Ben McAdoo.
Ben McAdoo. So Bob McAdoo is a great basketball player. But who's replacing Ben McAdoo?
First of all,
give us a list.
You know, it'd be so funny if John Gruden and I'd feel bad for Tennessee fans if John Gruden went to the Giants, because then I'd feel like, you know what would be the equivalent of? You have a friend who's a little bit younger than you, who's 5 years younger than you, and you take his girlfriend. That's what it would be like if the Giants got John Gruden. Because then I'd feel a little bit bad for Tennessee.
Feel bad for Tennessee?
Yeah, because they wanted him. He's the white whale, so I'd feel like I would take Tennessee's girl.
Never the bride.
If John Gruden
like
could
Lane Kiffin had a nice long run in Tennessee.
Well, he kind of short-sheeted himself. I mean, I don't feel bad for Lane Kiffin at all. Who do you think's the best athlete, Tom Brady or LeBron James? I'm going to have to go TB12. I think Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly is going to be a beast at Florida. I think that would be the best hire. Scott Frost, I like. Chip Kelly, you've been around Chip Kelly, and we'll get to that Giants question in a second.
Chip Kelly,
but you think he's a complete? You could say any word.
I think that Chip Kelly's a dumpster fire. He only has 4 formations.
But you think he's a complete dick?
No, as a person.
You think he's a complete prick as a person.
He doesn't really have any friends at all. Right. Chip Kelly has no friends anywhere. I think it'll be fun for any of you rooting against the Florida Gators.
Yeah.
I think that the NFL has Chip figured out, and he has one bubble screenplay, and that's all he has.
I think Florida, you know, I know that Falcons Fear is a Florida fan, but they always win. So the teams that always are successful are a little unlikable.
Chip Kelly won't be boring.
Would fit in Florida, though. I think Chip would actually rock it at Florida. By the way, he's a college coach. He only lost 4 games at Oregon. I mean, that's a home run hire. You know?
I don't want friends. What is that?
I don't want friends. I want offense. And that's what Chip will. I think Chip would kill it, though.
That's true.
He would scare me.
He's kind of a jerk, though, if you ever meet him. But that's okay.
If I was a college kid, I would play for Dan Mullen over him.
Here's the point. Chip will do better if he has 100 players. He burns out professional players. Jason Peters hated playing for Chip.
Williams.
And they, you know, the way they do it, you know, it's just fast. It probably works for college kids.
No, it'll work at college, like Mike Leach's system works at college, but I think Chip would be a home run hire. I think that Tennessee fans, the SEC would be put on notice.
Put it this way, Chip's fun.
You can't, dink around and get a mediocre head coach. Stop saying David Shaw for the Giants. Okay, I mean, so... You want Venables from Clemson to come into Tennessee. I think that wouldn't be a terrible idea. I think Dan Mullen would be pretty good. But to answer the Giants question,
Dan Mullen's
I think David Shaw would.
Dan Mullen will go to Tennessee. Would that be an upgrade?
I do think so. I do think that Dan Mullen will go to.
How about A&M though? Dan Mullen might wait for A&M job. That's money. That's a money job.
He's peaked in Starkville. I
think he is.
Let's go to the Giants head coaching comments because a lot of people are saying.
Why don't you give us some suggestions about Giants head coach?
Do you want David Shaw?
I don't think that David Shaw's on the radar. I know that you like him, but I don't think they're looking for a college coach. They're going to look for somebody, probably coordinator in the NFL.
I look at David Shaw. I think will be a good hire. Josh McDaniels didn't work out with the Denver Broncos, so I don't get why Josh McDaniels.
I think he'd be a good coach,
but he didn't lead men like in Denver. He kind of fizzled out there. He was poor there. You learned from Hugh Jackson.
Belichick did do well. Belichick did do well.
That was in Cleveland.
But nobody does well in Cleveland.
Yeah, but that was Denver. with John Elway and all the ownership group in Denver. That's a successful organization. So
you think McDaniel's blocked? You don't think he's going to get another head coach?
I mean, I like McDaniels a lot more than McAdoo. I would maybe take the Rams. I'd look at LaFleur would maybe be a good hire. I'd seriously want David Shaw or John Gruden. I think David Shaw's tough. Harbaugh. Any of the Harbaugh brothers,
John Harbaugh could get fired this year, believe it or not.
Yeah.
John Harbaugh would be a great hire.
John Harbaugh would be pretty solid. I mean,
and unlike Chip Kelly, he's a great guy.
I would take Jim Harbaugh, but yes. You want us to stop saying David Shaw? Well, what's your alternative? He wants a Josh McDaniels. I think if you polled most Giants fans, David Shaw, I think, is better than Josh McDaniels.
I don't think they're looking to get a Stanford college coach. They're just not.
But they run the football.
I just don't think they're looking.
Football
look at the Giants.
What?
They're not going to take such a gamble on a college coach. I just don't think they're doing that.
Okay. We had other questions about the college search. Basically. Brett Venables for Tennessee. I look at Tennessee and I think Mullen would be okay. They better not get Mike Norvell. They can't hire a coach in outside of the Power Five. Tennessee has to hire a proven commodity. Because Butch Jones is outside of the Power Five. You can't hire a Mike Norvell.
Right, you can't take. Listen, you're right. You're gonna lose money. They've got to bring in a name. They've got to keep that stadium filled.
How good is Kirby Smart to you? If you could start a program, where would Kirby rank in your top, coaches in college football?
I think he's a solid college coach. I know we had a chance to interview him at the SEC Media Day. I think he would be a fine coach.
Where would you rank him, though, in the upper echelon?
I'd say top 10.
Top 10
How about
for
yourself?
Now? Yeah, even though he lost to Gus Malzahn, I think his recruiting level, I think he's possibly a top 5
Who's the most entertaining coach in Division I football? I think this is a pretty easy one.
Great question. I think P.J. Fleck. What do you think?
I'll go with Mr. Mike Leach of Washington State. I think he's the most entertaining.
Who do I think wins the Big Ten? I think Ohio State. And right now it's really shaking out. And I was having an argument with Jet Central the other day. A guy on my podcast, he thinks Ohio State, shouldn't make the playoff because they went and got blown out by Iowa.
Well,
I don't know if Michigan can even win the Big Ten. But, Mike Leach is extremely entertaining. He was a guy that was on my list of entertaining coaches. Lane Kiffin, too. I'd love to hang out with Lane, go on a ride with him.
Is FAU, is that Division I? Barely, right? Barely Division I.
Yes, I think Clemson's going to beat Miami in the ACC. I think Clemson's going to win that.
Miami's going to be out.
I think Clemson's making the national title game.
I think Oklahoma's in the Final Four. Do you agree with that?
I do. I think Oklahoma's in the Final Four. Clemson. I'm then going to, believe it or not, I think the SEC can get 2 teams in the playoff. Because
so I
think Auburn's going to be.
Are you thinking Auburn and Alabama?
No, I think Auburn beats Alabama. If Auburn beats Alabama, Ohio State is done for the playoffs.
I don't think you could. Anybody who bets on Alabama not being in there, that's got to.
No, if Alabama loses the Iron Bowl, they're still in as a 1 loss.
So you think Alabama, Georgia, are they your 2 teams?
Yes, because I think Georgia's beating Auburn in the SEC championship. Auburn ain't winning 3 straight games. Are looking at him. Where do you see Lamar Jackson getting drafted? Good question.
It's an interesting question. Lamar Jackson, a guy with tons of talent. There's some question about the complexity of the NFL. That he's kind of a raw dog.
Definitely.
Bit of a raw dog. Lamar's a raw dog. I don't know what franchise is going to hinge their career on him.
Lamar Jackson.
Probably Cleveland Browns.
I mean, I look at Lamar Jackson.
Why not?
And I think that he's okay, but I do think that he might have trouble reading defenses. I think he's been exposed by ACC play now. It's very weird what's going on with Tom Jurich there in Louisville right now. I think the AD got fired, so there's a lot of turbulence going around.
It's a crazy,
Lamar Jackson.
not to mention their basketball team.
Yeah, with Petrino and him pulling out of that situation.
How about Patino?
Patino as Petrino.
How about Patino?
You have one guy banging hookers. The other guy can't even have sex.
The other
for
guy got $1 million.
15 minutes.
The other guy he actually took
seconds.
95% cash directly from Adidas. But we don't want to break that story.
Eli is not done. Thank you so much. We can agree with that point for sure. Lamar Jackson, though, 5th rounder. By the way, here's my theory, though. You look at Kellen Clemens, Chase Daniel, backup quarterbacks in the NFL.
Great quarterback in Missouri. Horrible NFL quarterback. The worst preseason ever for the Eagles.
Chad Henne. You don't want your backup quarterback to be too electric, too successful. That's why I think Tyrod Taylor's going to have trouble getting a job, Kaepernick and Lamar Jackson, because they're too talented at backup quarterbacks. Why would you want a Lamar Jackson at quarterback if you're a starting quarterback? He's just going to put pressure on you.
Here's a point.
I can see Arizona drafting Lamar.
If Lamar Jackson could be humble and accept his role as a backup, the whole key thing is look at Nick Foles. Look at Nick Foles.
I think Lamar Jackson, though, can throw the football.
To be a backup quarterback, you got to be a team player. You can't cause dissension.
Yeah, and you got to be as dry as a board.
Got to be dry as a bone.
Dry as a board.
Dry as a board.
I think Eli Manning.
I don't think boards are that dry.
Eli Manning is staying with the New York Giants. Catfish. I really think Eli Manning is going to stay with the Giants, and I think he'll have another run at a Super Bowl. I think I would draft Lamar Jackson over Mason Rudolph, though. I mean, I'm not a fan of Rudolph. Let's name the quarterbacks you would like.
Talent.
I think he can throw the ball far. I think he can throw it accurately. I would almost rather have my franchise have Lamar Jackson over Mitchell Trubisky. I mean that sincerely. I think Lamar Jackson is a talent, and I think he could be successful. So you have Baker Mayfield, you have Darnold and Rosen. Who are going?
We just saw another quarterback. Who did we see? We saw
Luke Falk.
Luke Falk looked pretty good.
Well, what other quarterback? Jarrett Stidham of Auburn you like?
I liked Stidham. I liked him, his poise, good arm.
Drew Lock of Missouri, possibly?
I mean, he might be good, but it's hard to judge anybody in Missouri.
Sure.
How about Allen, quarterback from Wyoming?
Josh Allen, yeah. He hurt his shoulder, though, so you gotta check in with that injury.
Do you think he's going to fall?
The Jets really like Josh Allen. So, a topic I wanted to bring up is... Yeah, I agree. He is Alex Smith upside, Falcons Fury. I completely agree with you. What do you think about Nathan Peterman now taking over for Tyrod, for T-Rod, for T-Mobile?
I think it's controversial. I think, number one, the Tyrod Taylor is very popular with the Bills, and I don't think that, according to what we hear from Buffalo, there's a bit of dissension there. But I think you got to see what you have. I don't see Tyrod as the future.
I agree with that. And I know Marcus Mariota had a terrible game. And by the way, that Skycam, guys, Lord have mercy if you watch that.
If you didn't get a headache.
That was a piece of shit.
If you didn't get vertigo from watching the whole game in a Skycam, that was annoying.
I got to give a shout out to my...
Normally, a Skycam should be like gravy. So it should be gravy on the turkey. But do you want to have the whole meal be gravy? I don't think so.
Listen, if I had a Skycam... Okay, you ever play
Skycam here?
You ever play Madden and you play with an idiot that used those stupid camera angles that like sets it up where you're playing a video game? That's how stupid that whole game looked, and I really hated that thing. Marcus Mariota, he doesn't throw a good deep ball. He has Corey Davis, Delaney Walker. We keep on making excuses for Mariota. He is very, very highly rated. He's overrated because Marcus Mariota. One thing is he lives in Nashville, which is a friendly media market. He also happens to be the nicest human being on the planet and would piss nobody off. Jameis Winston has a lot of haters because of his pregame speeches, because he was yelling profanities at Florida State, because of the whole rape trial, like did he do it, did he not do it, where Marcus Mariota was always pitted against Winston. So that's the whole reason why I think people love Marcus Mariota and they don't want to say a bad word about him. you know?
True,
and
he's
he
a
also
likable
plays
guy.
in Tennessee. He's hidden in the 1
Very
o'clock hour.
small, very small medium market.
Like Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers, no one says a bad thing either because no one watches Chargers games like they do Giants or Steelers games. How
Especially
funny.
in Los Angeles. Nobody's watching
Do you
Chargers
think
games
Colin
there.
Cowherd will apologize for the Big Ben hate? Because
No,
do
he
you,
never apologizes. That's why, you know what you say, it's good to have lovers and haters. Cowherd will never apologize.
You know what pisses?
Have you ever seen him apologize?
You know what pisses me off?
Let me ask you a
Bruce?
question.
No.
Okay, so the answer is no to that one.
You know what pisses me off? How many people jumped off the Steelers and said Big Ben's done, he might retire mid-season when he threw all those interceptions to Jacksonville? They said the Steelers were done.
this guy's
They
a Hall
pressed
of
the
Famer.
panic button.
Listen,
the Steelers
Big
are
Ben-
making the
Big-
AFC
Big
Championship.
Big Ben's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
And the Steelers ain't done. They ain't going anywhere this
They're not
year.
done.
They're going to compete for a championship of the AFC.
Are they going to be a
this year.
division? Are they going to win the division?
Possibly.
AFC Central.
Possibly.
Questions?
Listen, I love Marshawn Lattimore as well. I love that Saints defense. So I think absolutely, Chef. I think that the Saints are a really
Jay Cutler.
good
Jay Cutler.
team.
He could definitely sink any team.
He can. And
He
so
threw
can
an
Adam
interception.
Gase.
By the way, do you remember the interception he threw at the end of the first half? This was ridiculous. He should have kneeled on the football, basically gave the game away. The game was over. Cutler is a choke artist.
Possibly a choke artist. So
Definitely, in my opinion.
I look at Nathan Peterman. I'm excited to see what he can do, but I watched him at Pitt. He's a perfect backup. You know who's going to be a great backup quarterback is Jake Browning, because you want to draft a backup that doesn't throw very well, but is just very quiet. You need a guy who's quiet and can't throw well, and that's why NFL guys like backups. What do you think of Dowell Loggins when he was in Tennessee? I haven't been following Dowell that long. He's the. Do you know who he is, Bruce?
Nope.
Trivia.
I don't know who he is.
He's the OC.
I've got no opinion about that
He's the
question.
OC for the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
And he is so conservative. I don't like him, and I definitely don't like Mike Mularkey. I don't think Mularkey's special at all.
He was the Bills head coach. No, he was terrible.
He's trash. He's
Absolutely.
trash. He's holding the Titans back. I mean, listen.
I see that we have to wrap it up. We have a 30-second.
How about 3 more minutes? Because we have a big audience right now. A lot of questions coming.
Okay.
in.
3 minutes.
Let's list.
We're going into OT.
Okay, so
It's like a soccer
me
match.
and you are going to
Go to
run.
overtime.
Me and you are going to run some names off of guys that are going to get fired from the NFL this year. Head coach.
Thumbs up, thumb down.
No. Me and you are going to rattle off names of guys that are going to get fired. Does CJ play the whole game versus the Seahawks? He does, unless he really struggles. But I would keep CJ Beathard in. But by the way, Jimmy G has to take time. All right, let's go. Head coaching draft of guys getting fired. I'm going to go first. Chuck Pagano.
I'll take Ben McAdoo.
Ben McAdoo, and these guys have to get fired. Oh man, I don't know if we should get help from our
this is
audience.
too easy.
I don't want to get help. Wait, stop.
You.
I'm going to say Vance Joseph. He's a dumpster fire.
Who's coach of the Browns? You.
Jackson.
You Jackson. Definite. There's
Definite
no
lock.
way they're gonna rehire that guy.
So how many do we have? 4 guys right
You
now?
got 4 guys. Hot seat. How about
Someone
Marvin?
said a really good
how about
name
Marvin?
up there. That's a good one. But he almost. How about Fox or Lewis? Who do you think goes?
Marvin Lewis. Over Foxy. He goes.
How about Anthony Lynn of the Chargers? You don't think so, right?
They're having a pretty terrible season.
Nah,
I think
too
Lynn is
soon,
toast.
too
I think
soon.
Lynn is toast.
Todd Bowles.
Believe it or not toast. One more year.
Not toast. Not toast. Oh, man. Marvin. Oh, I forgot one. A definite lock to get fired.
We think not Jay Gruden.
Think in the South. I'll give you 15 seconds.
No, that's
It's
boring.
a team of high expectations and really faltered this year. Fell flat on their face.
Not the Texans.
1,000%
Not
getting
the
fired.
Texans. No, not Bill O'Brien.
No, I'm going to list the name if you don't get it in 5 seconds.
Give me a
The
hint.
division?
Give me a hint.
Crab legs.
Not New Orleans.
No.
There's crab legs in New Orleans. Peyton is not getting
Can't
fired.
believe you're not getting this. Who's associated when you think of the word crab legs?
Sorry, I don't get the association.
Dirk Cutter, Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston stealing crab legs.
There you go.
Tampa
okay.
Bay sucks.
That's
man.
an obtuse reference.
I don't know. I don't know. Even you guys even know the reference. You guys would have gotten it in a second. Your job is on the hot seat. Dirk Cutter's getting fired. So does that mean John Gruden goes back to the NFL game?
Nope. You know why? He's not winning another championship in Tampa Bay. Not a good place to go.
Tell your friends to subscribe, guys, to Rover Sports. This is an amazing new camera here. Very fortunate to be on this,
4G camera.
This podcast.
This is the new. We are photographing on the new iPhone X. I
really don't
good.
want Jim Bob Cooter for the Giants. No, no, no. He doesn't run the football at all. You need a coach that's going to run the football. And that'll be our last question, guys.
Thanks for logging in.
Tomorrow should be tremendous.
Tomorrow we're going to do another live stream.
Possibly college football live stream, maybe. So let's see what time we'll hop in for that. Maybe like 7 o'clock tomorrow. And you guys were great tonight. I really love these comments. We might have to do this on Friday night. Yeah, Falcons Fury, all you guys, Chef, all you guys, Vol, Roadshow.
Appreciate your guys' active participation.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys were awesome, and have a great Friday night.
Good night, Ann.
Hold on. Let's try to end this.
Sports.
All right, here we go. Thanks, guys.